The Case of the Dognapper. It was a chill afternoon in the Doggo Detectives' office. Well, at least it was supposed to be chill. The fan hummed in the corner, papers were stacked in messy piles, and the smell of leftover lunch drifted through the air. But calm? Not a chance. Alpine sat at her desk, eyes glued to a stack of case files, her nose twitching as she skimmed through the old reports. She loved patterns. Anything that didn't fit, she'd find it. Chloe, meanwhile, was in the corner on a yoga mat, meditating with perfect posture. Every few seconds, she'd mutter something like, "Inner peace, inner peace." Bandit was crunching on crackers dipped in what he proudly called special truffle sauce. Nobody else liked it. Across the room, Zoey was crouched low, her dachshund tail flicking like a cat's. She was plotting. "Don't even think about it," Bandit warned, guarding his plate like treasure. Zoey's eyes sparkled. "I wasn't thinking anything," she said innocently, right before she lunged. "Hey!" Crackers flew through the air like confetti. Bandit barked in outrage as Zoey darted behind the couch, giggling. And then there was Maverick. The German Shepherd was in full-blown zoomy mode, running, spinning, bumping into desks, knocking over pencils, and yelling, "Sorry, sorry, sorry," between every crash. Why does Bandit never share? "Sorry, Zoey, I have the zoomies," Maverick barked as he slid across the floor. Alpine sighed. This office is a circus. It was. And then, creak. The door opened slowly. All chaos froze. Standing in the doorway was a tall silver Weimaraner with sharp blue eyes and a look of panic on his face. His collar jingled as he stepped in. This is the Doggo Detectives, right?" he asked, voice trembling. Alpine straightened her notepad. "Yep. What's going on? Fritz. Name's Fritz." Chloe stood. "All right, Fritz. Tell us what's wrong." Fritz's voice cracked. "It's not just me. Almost all the dogs in Brooklyn are gone." The room fell silent. Maverick blinked. "Gone? As in poof?" Fritz nodded, eyes wide. "One by one, I was walking down Baltic Street this morning. Empty. Park? Empty. I thought maybe everyone was hiding from the storm, but..." He shook his head. "Something's wrong." Chloe took a deep breath. "Okay, calm yourself." Fritz exhaled shakily. "Okay." Alpine said her detective hat. "Team, grab your coats. We're heading to Brooklyn." They followed Fritz through the rumbling streets. Clouds hung low and the wind whipped around corners. Brooklyn was quiet. Too quiet. Only a few humans hurried by, clutching umbrellas. No barking, no dogs playing, no wagging tails. Just the faint rumble of thunder above. Down the street, two small dogs appeared, a Chihuahua and a pug. The pair huddled together, trembling. Alpine approached carefully. "Hey, you two okay?" The Chihuahua's eyes darted left and right. "They're gone! Everyone's gone!" Before anyone could ask who they were, whoosh! The Chihuahua vanished into thin air. The pug screamed, ah! He bolted down the street. Maverick dashed after him, just in time to see a tall, dark figure lunge from an alley and snatch the pug. One blink, and they were both gone. "What was that?" Chloe barked. "I don't know," said Maverick, hackles raised, "but we need to be careful." Oh no, I might be next." Fritz panicked, trembling. "Fritz, calm down," Chloe said firmly. "Take this." She pulled out a small calming treat from her satchel. "It helps." Fritz chewed it nervously and slowly settled down. They followed him home, a tidy townhouse with a red door and flower pots on the steps. But before they could enter, Alpine froze. "Wait, where's Zoey?" Bandit spun around. "Zoey?" he called. "Zoey!" No answer. "She's gone," Alpine barked. "Oh no, she's missing." They scoured Brooklyn, alleyways, garbage bins, even behind old pizza shops. Alpine's paw prints mixed with mud as the rain began to fall harder. Trash cans toppled as Bandit dug through them, hoping for a clue. They even passed a family of rats huddled under a box. One of them squeaked, "Try the old warehouse on Water Street." Maverick nodded. "Got it." But before they could thank the rat family, Alpine vanished. Her paw prints stopped mid-street. Bandit froze. "Alpine, no, not her too." Thunder cracked overhead. The team pressed on, hearts pounding. And then they heard it. A bark. Faint, but clear. "Down that alley!" Chloe shouted. They sprinted through the narrow path, paws splashing in puddles. Fritz's nose twitched. "I smell something. It's this way." "Go, go, go!" Bandit barked. At the end of the alley stood a huge metal door, thick steel bars, old and rusty. Behind it, dozens of eyes gleamed. "Guys, help us!" cried Zoey from behind the bars. "Yeah, what she said," barked another dog. They pushed and pulled at the door, but it didn't budge. Then, thud. A sound. Behind them. "Who's there?" Chloe demanded. No reply. Just breathing. Slow, heavy breathing. A tall black figure stepped out of the shadows. A large Labrador wearing a torn coat and a top hat, eyes glowing faintly in the dim light. Bandit's fur bristled. "Hey, did you dog-nap these dogs?" No, I found them like this. I've been trying to open the door." "Oh," Bandit lowered his paw. "Then who are you?" "Name's Buddy. And if you're here to help, I'm in." Chloe nodded. "All right, Buddy. Let's find whoever's behind this and that key." They searched the alleyways, every shadowed corner, every boarded-up building. Until Fritz stopped suddenly. "There. See that? A narrow crack in the wall. Behind it, movement." They squeezed through, one by one, into a hidden workshop. Strange tools lined the shelves, masks, collars, ropes, and costumes. And in the middle sat a Doberman, wearing a witch hat and a doctor's coat, holding plush scissors. Jason D, one of the most notorious criminals in New York. Well, Jason sneered. "You dogs just couldn't mind your own business, huh?" He bolted. "After him!" Bandit shouted. Jason sprinted through the back door. Bandit followed, slipping in puddles, but Jason shoved him into a trash can. Zoey jumped, bit Jason's tail, and he yelped, tripping over his own paws. Buddy and Fritz leapt forward, tackling him to the ground. Meanwhile, Maverick sprinted through a narrow alley, rain pounding his fur. He slid under a fence and reached a hidden manhole. Lifting it, he jumped down into an underground tunnel lit with faint yellow bulbs. At the end, an underground police station. Rows of dogs worked at computers, typing with their paws. "Maverick!" barked a deep voice. He turned. A big German shepherd stood there, wearing a police badge. "Yo, Mav, why haven't you visited?" Maverick grinned. Been busy solving crimes, Ranger." It was his big brother, the chief of dog police. "The team needs help," said Maverick. "We found Jason D." Ranger's ears shot up. "Where?" "Brooklyn. He's cornered, but dangerous." Ranger barked orders. "Let's move out, squad." Moments later, a team of dog police in vests charged out of the tunnel, rain spraying off their fur. They arrived in Brooklyn just as Jason D tried to break free again. "Freeze!" Ranger barked. Jason froze, eyes darting as a circle of dogs surrounded him. Bandit smirked. "End of the line, Jason." The Doberman growled, but said nothing, as they cuffed him. Maverick approached. "All those dogs? You'll pay for that." Jason glared. "You'll never find the key." But Bandit's ears perked. "Wait, is that squeaking?" They followed the sound right to a tiny mouse hole near the wall. Inside, the shiny metal key glimmered in the dark. Bandit reached in, grinning. "Found it!" They unlocked the door. Dozens of dogs poured out, tails wagging, barking happily. Zoey and Alpine ran out first, soaked but smiling. "Nice work, team,"